Cumming Planning and Zoning meeting October 18, 2016 to order. Item number 2, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second by vote, carries unanimous. Item number 3, do I have a motion to approve the September 20th, 2016 meeting?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
By vote, carries unanimous. Any old business?
No, sir.
All right, new business, 5A. Georgia Treatment Center LLC, conditional use permit number 2016346. Have a motion to open public hearing.
Motion open hearing.
Second.
No second, public hearing now open. All right, somebody want to come up and tell us what we got here, Sean?
I'm Sean Courtney with Lipscomb Johnson representing Georgia Treatment Center. They operate as Brand New Start Treatment Center located at 514 West Maple Street in an office professional zoning. I'm here with Sanjay Sood and Sarah Hilbert with Brand New Start Treatment Center. It is an integrated healthcare provider with accessibility to individuals and families whose lives have been impacted by drug dependence. They also continue to cultivate a team of competent, compassionate personnel who are dedicated to individualized care and committed to continuously improving services. They use ongoing research and development to maintain an environment open to learning and provide education to the community they serve. Brand New Start Treatment Center has dosing hours from 5:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Saturday. They have roughly 100 to 125 patients that come to the clinic during the day, and they typically have 8 staff members on site. Currently, there's no assigned parking spaces per their lease, but there are 80 common spaces for the 3 office buildings, as well as an additional 200 spaces in a parking lot to the south of those 3 buildings. I've provided Scott letters of support from Dennis Taylor, who's the property owner of the office park. The applicant has already requested that their staff members and their patients park at that parking lot to the south of the buildings, but they'd be fine with a condition. And additionally, they are willing to provide a parking attendant and keep their dosing hours as they are currently. Unfortunately, drug dependency affects our community, and Brand New Start Treatment Center can provide the help that the people need in and around the city of Cumming. And we would be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in favor of conditional use permit 2016346? Anybody like to speak in opposition? Any questions from the board? Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Second by vote. Public hearing closed. Scott, we have a staff report.
Yes, sir. It's in your packet. If you'll address it, I'll read it into the record. The applicant has filed a conditional use permit request on behalf of the property owner in order to continue its use of a drug treatment facility in the office professional zoning district at 514 West Maple Street, Suite 1203, Cumming, Georgia. When this applicant received its certificate of occupancy from the city in April 2014, it was as a medical office. After further inspection, it was discovered to be operating a drug treatment facility which falls under the zoning procedures requirement of OCGA 36-66-4F. Under authority of section 113-181 note 1 of our zoning ordinance, it's my decision to allow this use to continue at this location only in the office professional zoning district, providing the applicant obtains a conditional use permit from the city while meeting the requirements of state law. The applicant has met these requirements, and therefore staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit with the following conditions. Number 1, staff park their personal vehicles in the parking lot south of the office building. Patients will park their personal vehicles in the parking lot south of the office building, except when handicapped or special needs patients must utilize the handicapped parking space or other parking spaces located directly in front of suites 12:03 to 12:06. Number 3, parking attendant will be on site during drug dispensing hours to assist patients with proper parking of their personal vehicles. And number 4, drug dispensing hours will remain only Monday through Friday, 5:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and Saturday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions from the board? I make a motion to send conditional use permit number 2016346 forward to the council for approval with the conditions attached as stated in the staff report. Have a second.
Second.
Have a second. By vote, unanimous. All right, 5B, thank you. All right, 5B, automotiondirect.com Incorporated, variance number 2016352. May I have a motion to open public hearing?
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Second, everybody vote, carried unanimous. Public hearing open. Somebody want to come up and tell us, Emery, you want to come up and tell us about this one?
Thank you very much. I'm Emery Lipscomb. I'm here on behalf of Automation Direct in this request for a 7-foot variance in connection with this office building that they have there. And we're glad to answer any questions. George Herman and Tim Holman are here from Automation Direct. I know I don't have to tell you what a great company this is and how fortunate we are to have them in the city of Cumming. They've been here since 1995, and they employ a substantial number of people who are very enthusiastic about their company and are great ambassadors for us and for this area. So, with that said, I'm glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Now, if anybody else that wants to speak in favor of this variance? Anyone like to speak in opposition? I have a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Motion second, everybody vote. Carries unanimous. Doc, we have a staff report on this.
Yes, sir, we do. If you'll look in the packet, I will read it into the record. An agent has made application on behalf of the property owner for a 7-foot height variance to a proposed office building in the restricted industrial zoning district. The maximum building height will be 57 feet. The property owner has previously obtained a similar variance on an existing office building immediately adjacent to this proposed office building, and no issues have been reported. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the variance as requested. We're happy to answer any questions.
Any comments or questions from the board? Okay, I'll make a motion, we send variance number 2016352 forward to council for approval. The height variance of 7 feet, with maximum building height of 57 feet as stated in the staff report. Have a second.
Second.
Motion second, everybody vote. Carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, C, AAP Investment LLC rezoning number 2016353. Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
Motion to open hearing.
Second.
Motion second, everybody carries unanimous.
Good
You want to tell us
afternoon.
about this?
Yes, sir. I'm Dan Wolf. I'm representing AAP Investments. I have an enlargement of this property on an easel. If you'd like, I'll set this up.
We have this in the packet also. Yeah.
Anybody else want to see? Okay, gentlemen. AAP Investments would like to dispose of the property. They no longer wish to own it, and they've asked me to market the property. I began several months ago seeking to evaluate, lay out the property for a residential lot It is physically possible in a generally reasonable way to lay it out for a residential lot. That is its current zoning. And the best I can tell, it's been that way for as long as the city designated it sometime long ago. But the problem I find is that with all the wonderful growth in and around downtown Cumming, a lot of government, a lot of office buildings, a lot of traffic, I don't think nowadays it would be an appealing setting for somebody to buy a lot, go through all that needs to be done to get it approved, build it, and have a home. I looked at it two different ways. One is to simply have the home face westward. That would be facing Dahlonega Street. In that case, you have very little backyard and some front yard, but I don't know that somebody wants to be facing a busy state highway and some, I would call them attractive 4-story office buildings. I just don't see the market getting excited about that. Of course, the alternative is just orient it southward. That would be facing Ridgecrest Avenue. That would possibly work a little better. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. But the problem there is you have zero backyard, and therefore your yard is the side. In that case, you probably don't want to put the house close to the highway, which means you move it way to the east. So you have one good yard, a side yard, running out to the state highway. In both arrangements, it just doesn't seem to be very appealing. I did try, did not really get any traction with the market. So with that as background, I thought we should try to market it as office. And of course, it's a very beautiful office area coming across Elm Street. We have a lot of nice looking office buildings there. Also, just south of there, you have an office campus. One parcel to the south, there are several white brick buildings. And so we think it makes more sense to market this 3/4 acre lot as an office site. So that's what we'd like to do. Let me make a few comments. Any well done, well thought out office building, besides being well laid out, will be 4-sided brick, very attractive architecturally. So I think it would be very compatible with a quality look for the city, add value to the owner of the building. So I think those would work well. With reference to the one adjoining property owner, which is Dorothy Phillips, an attractive 1-story all brick office building, which as we know is basically a 5-day-a-week, 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 kind of a use. I don't see any kind of a nuisance factor. Certainly there's nothing unattractive. The traffic, having spoken to the DOT gentleman in Gainesville, we would not, as expected, get a driveway on Highway 9, nor would I think it would make any sense or be desirable or safe. So it has to go on Ridgecrest Avenue. And for that reason, it doesn't dump traffic directly on Highway 9. But there is an intersection there, so that part is good. So I don't see any nuisance factor. It would be attractive. It adds another business to the area. And I guess it adds a little bit more to the tax digest. So those are a few overview comments. I've got a little aerial map here, if it is of any help to you, where you can see the rooftops. If you'd like, I'll hand this to you. Subject property is in yellow. You see the rooftops of a lot of the surrounding offices. I wanted to add one other thing. This 4,000 square foot building, we have a wonderful abundance of parking. I manage several office buildings, and I can tell you that standard of about 3 parking spaces, or 3.5 or 3 1/3 for every 1,000 feet, really nowadays is very small, because businesses are putting far more people in the same square footage. And so you have many people, many employees, let alone business visitors. And that ratio of 3 per 1,000 or 3.5 a 1,000, in my judgment, and I've shared this with other brokers, is very inadequate. But in our case, we are showing 30 parking spaces for a 4,000 square foot building. So we're getting 7.5 parking spaces per 1,000. So that's like 2.5 times the, we'll call it the general standard. So I think it's going to be a very pleasant situation where you don't have parking lot wars.
Anybody else like to speak in favor of this? So we may have questions right now. Anybody like to speak in opposition? All right, any questions or comments? Questions from the board for Mr. Wilson? Motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
No stand up, vote. Carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, Scott, we got a staff report on this one?
Yes, sir, we do, also in your packet, and read in the record. An agent has made application on behalf of the property owner to rezone 0.739 acres, more or less, from single-family residential to office professional. The lot is currently vacant, and the owner wants to construct a 4,000 square foot office building plus 30 parking spaces on the property. This lot is part of a larger, well-established residential neighborhood. The rezoning, if approved, would not be compatible with the zoning in this residential area and would not be in conformance with the comprehensive and future land use plans. Therefore, staff recommends denial of the rezoning as requested. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions or comments from the board? I'll make a motion, we send AAP investment, LLC zone number 2016353 forward to the council with a recommendation of denial as stated in the staff report due to the fact that it's set a precedent for the rest of that subdivision. I have a second.
Second.
Both saying that by vote, carries unanimously. Get in there.
I don't know nothing the fair zone.
Yeah, fair's over, everybody's happy
Great.
about that.
Yep.
Record fair.
Yeah,
Got a
exactly.
motion with adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Both saying that by vote, carries unanimously. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.